Hey everyone, welcome back to the corner. It's been a couple weeks, been a little busy, holidays and such. The state basically getting shut down again, so it's been a lot of fun. Um, our Chicago Bears are still awful. We've lost now four in a row after dropping a game to the I don't remember who did we play last time. The Vikings. Yeah, the Vikings. We lost to the Vikings.
Yeah.
That was our last game. We were on a bye week this week, thank God, and we still probably lost. I think I saw someone say the Bears lost 3-13 to the NFL. So, even a bye week, we get a loss. But moving on, we're moving on to next week. It's Thanksgiving week, which is always a fun week in the NFL because you have the traditional games of the Cowboys, the Lions. There's always a third game, which this week is actually real good. It's going to be Baltimore and Pittsburgh. That should be a good game, barring that no one else from Baltimore catches COVID or gets hurt or anything else. So let's kind of just recap a couple games from this past week, and we'll dive into our picks, and we'll talk about our Thanksgiving Day traditions and all that fun stuff. So the biggest takeaway for me this week was probably Taysom Hill, and I know Jimmy's going to roll his eyes and go roll out Tebow 2.0, but I mean Atlanta's not a great team, I know that, but it's basically an audition. You had Jameis Winston on the bench, who is a former Pro Bowler, I think an MVP, if not an MVP candidate, at least an MVP. And you roll out Taysom Hill, who technically in ESPN fantasy leagues was a tight end last week still. So we have one guy in my league who rolled out two quarterbacks in one game because he was still a tight end in our league. What did you make of him this week? I mean, 233 passing yards, 51 rushing yards, two touchdowns. So he had a good fantasy week, but is this feasible going forward for them?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, like you said it in your rundown. I mean, he's Tebow 2.0. I mean, Tebow kind of set the league on fire for, I don't know, maybe a season, maybe a little less. And then they realized, oh yeah, that's right, this guy's not any good, and then they shut him down. I don't think Taysom Hill is going to be the answer going forward. I mean, I think for whatever reason, I don't know if he has naked pictures of Sean Payton or what he has over him. I mean, I thought that deal was bad. I mean, they play the Falcons, so I mean they're bad. So I would like to see what he does against a good team. So I mean, I could be wrong, but I hardly ever am wrong. So I just don't
Oh,
think it's going to be
don't go down that
um,
street, sir.
going going forward. And then I mean, and the other question is, what the hell's wrong with Jameis? I
Yeah,
mean, I know you
that's
probably want to see what you have in Taysom, but I
maybe
mean,
it's
I mean,
maybe and
that's a damning thing on Jameis, I think.
well, maybe it's one of those situations where Jameis is coming in off the basically off the street for this team because no one wanted him after he got cut by Tampa Bay. Um, so maybe he doesn't. Maybe the offense he doesn't understand it yet. But again, you think, well, if they rolled it out with the Taysom Hill package, I mean, they should probably be able to adjust to what Jameis can do. I mean, Jameis can sling it around the yard just fine, and you would think he'd be okay. But for some reason, it just doesn't seem to be that way.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't know if he's the answer going forward. Um, I mean, we have to see what he's going to look like against a good team, and they have some of those on the schedule left. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, another game we should watch or kind of be talking about is the Tampa Bay game against the Rams. Seeing Tom Brady play, just not very well. I mean, it just looked ugly at some points, and then we know that at the end of the game there, I had my last leg of the parlay for Mike Evans under 52 and a half yards, and he finished the game with 49 yards. So I won that parlay, which is always fun. Um, but the Buccaneers did not look good against the Rams. The Rams should not have been, able to do what they did, and they looked like they were just kind of picking them apart left and right. You had Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp go over 10 receptions and 100 yards receiving against the pass defense that's supposed to be pretty good. What do you make of that, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Bucks are kind of trending back down to what they were last year when they couldn't stop a nosebleed through the air. I mean, they still have, I believe, this number one rush defense. So that's like 2 years in a row. But that pass defense, I mean, when Jared Goff, like you said, is carving you up, it's not good. I know I sent you that stat on Messenger. Brady, let's see if I can find it. Brady has his rating on deep balls for the past month is 0.0.
And what
So I
what
mean,
defines a
I'm
deep ball?
assuming that's not good.
Is that 20 yards plus? Is that a deep ball?
I don't know. It just says I don't know. It just says over deep balls. I didn't go too far into it, but I mean that could be a cherry pick stat where it's like a deep ball is 60 yards in the air or something crazy like that. But I think if they're kind of pushing that stat out there, there has to be some validity to it. I mean, I've been calling for Tom Brady to fall off a cliff for 14 years now. So that may it may be pushing that way now. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he didn't look good. I finally bet on the Bucks, and then they screwed me. So that's another one. Chalk them up with Seattle. I won't bet on them again. Yeah, I just that Rams defense is really good. I know. I mean, obviously you have Aaron Donald, you have Ramsey, but I mean, other than that, I mean, they're kind of overlooked, and they're a really good defensive unit.
Yeah, it was. You're right. I mean, it was a Tom Brady fall off the cliff moment for now. We'll see what happens this coming week when they play. I think they're playing the Panthers. So it should be that should be a good game. Hopefully to watch. I mean, you're not going to have Christian McCaffrey. Teddy B might not be there, but we'll see what happens. Let's move on to what's going to happen this week, though. So Thursday day, we've got the Houston Texans at the Detroit Lions. As it stands right now, it looks like Kenny Galladay and DeAndre Swift are probably both will not play, which I gotta believe that's going to leave it wide open for Houston just to go absolutely crazy on that team. I mean, you're taking away two of the top players on the Detroit Lions team to do any scoring. Um, so you could see a lot of Brandon Cooks, a lot of Will Fuller. I have Duke Johnson on my fantasy league now because he's pretty much the only running back they have, and yet he hasn't done anything the last two games. I see this game probably being a Houston blowout, probably around 35-10, 35-20 maybe, because it's just going to be all Deshaun Watson all game. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I would think it kind of trends that way, but I mean, the Texans are the Texans. I mean, right now it's they're only 3-point favorites, which you would think that line would move a lot more. One, I would think the line would be more than that anyway, and then like you said, with the potential of the number one receiver and 1A, 1B running back being out, you would think that would kind of go up. But I just don't really have any. I don't have any faith in the Lions. I don't have any faith in the Texans. I think luckily that's the first game, so we can get that bad game out. Although the second one's not much better.
Yeah.
So just kind of get those out. I think it's going to be a close game. I actually like the Lions +3.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. We have Washington football team at the Dallas Cowboys. That's the second game of the day. Dallas is only a 2.5 point favorite right now. I mean, I could see that line possibly moving a little bit tomorrow, depending on injuries and COVID lists and things like that. But 2.5 points against a bad Washington football team. Again, you're playing with Andy Dalton, and the team is pretty much depleted. Ezekiel Elliott really hasn't done anything. You're throwing the whole game on Andy Dalton, the wide receivers' backs, which is fine. CeeDee Lamb could have a good game. Amari Cooper is always a threat. Michael Gallup has been kind of left out of it, but that's just the way it is. There's always usually two guys who get all the receptions for 1 week, and then it'll probably be the Michael Gallup show this week because no one's paying attention to him. What do you see? I see that game probably being a closer game than I think the Houston game is going to be. I could see that being like a 17-14 game. Dallas with the win.
Yeah, I like Washington in that +2.5. I don't think that I mean you can go ahead and insert the Gallagher video here. Mike McCarthy bringing the sledgehammer in and smashing watermelons to I guess hype them up. I don't know what that was about, but I don't think he can do that 2 weeks in a row. That the Washington D line are monsters. We saw what Chase Young did against Joe Burrow before Joe Burrow blew his knee out. I mean, that was a man hit on the side and caused him to fumble. So, I mean, that D line is no joke. Alex Smith is going to be comeback player of the year. I mean, he had a hell of a game. So I think he can probably put up another 300 yards on this Dallas defense. So, I mean, I like Washington. I just don't think Dallas can do anything.
So here's a question for the comeback player of the year. Alex Smith has only started, I think, 2 or 3 games now, and he's had okay games. I mean, 300 yards passing is always nice. Does that qualify enough to be comeback player of the year? I mean, granted, he's coming back from almost dying from the injury he had. But I mean, with all the infections and surgeries he had, I mean, would you qualify that as comeback player of the year, or would you go Ben Roethlisberger because he's been lighting the world on fire?
I mean, I think that's going to be, I don't know what the breakdown is. I mean, I don't know if it's just a snap or if it's literally like you have to start so many games or if it's just, hey, we like this guy kind of vote. I think, like you said, I mean, the guy coming back from a horrific injury where they were talking about he could have died, he could have had his leg amputated, and like 2 years later, he's the starting quarterback again. I think that alone kind of propels him to win that. I know we had talked before the season. I thought it was going to be Cam. We thought Cam was going to do a lot better than what he did in New England. So he's out. I mean, I guess Ben. What week did Ben get hurt? Do you
Last
remember?
year, like week 2 or 3, it was early. It was very early in the
Yeah.
year. He hurt his elbow like right away.
Right.
So I
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, see, the thing I have like the comeback player of the year, I wonder what it is because like Tanny won it and his comeback was because he sucked and then it was good again. So I don't even know how much of the comeback is due to injury because I mean Big Ben's a Pro Bowler, all pro quarterback anyway. So yeah, he's back and he's back doing the same thing. But I think if they're gonna go, apples to apples, it'd probably be Smith just due to the extent of that injury.
well, I mean, they also had, remember, Adrian Peterson won it the year after he came back from tearing his knee up. So I mean, take that as it's one of those where it's really hard to say what they're
Yeah,
they're
but
really
didn't he
gauging
have a
off of.
right? But didn't he have a crazy year too though? Like
Yeah,
when
the
he came
next
back, it
year.
wasn't
Oh
like
yeah, the
he ran
next
for like
year.
800 yards and
No, he had like a really good year when he came back. I mean, a really good year by running back
yeah. So I don't
standards.
know if that factors into it, but
They might. All right, the third game of the day of Thanksgiving is Baltimore Pittsburgh. Right now, Pittsburgh's sitting at -5.5. I'm kind of surprised that didn't bump up to 7 because of the way they're playing right now, and Baltimore is just falling to pieces in front of us. I mean, you have a story out there that other teams are calling the plays that Lamar Jackson's calling at the line. So, you know, is he tipping his pitches per se? Is he giving away based on formation, based on his snap? What is he giving away that all these other teams are just picking up on it right away? And throw in, you've got Mark Ingram and Dobbins who are out. They can't play because they are on COVID. They both tested positive. So it leaves Gus Bus, play the bus music now. The wheels on the bus go falling off. But, you know, what are they going to do this week against Baltimore, who is not Baltimore, but it's Pittsburgh, who's proving their defense is just as good as their offense?
yeah. Like you said that. I mean, even without the injuries, that 5.5 is weird. I know usually, the division games are usually you're not going to have a blowout for the most part. But I can see this being a blowout. Like I said, I don't. I mean, to Lamar Jackson, I wonder if it's because they simplified the offense so much last year. Um, because I mean there was some plays, but really it was a lot of option, motion, things like that to get him out on the outside and use his legs. And it's kind of like what teams have been doing lately is what they did against them, the past 2 years in the playoffs, which is if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to beat me by your arm. And he just doesn't seem to have that ability right now. I don't know if that's more on him um, and his inability to grasp like a bigger offense, or if it's on the OC and they're just like I said they're keeping it simplified and they're like, hey, we know what our bread and butter is. This is what we're going to go to, but it's not working.
Yeah, I think the issue with keeping what they know that worked was it worked last year when teams weren't queuing in on it. It's this year now. People have got all the tape on him. They can watch all the games back and see what he did and know, all right, well, we know if he shows this formation, we know he's going to do a design run. We know that if this is the formation, he's going to do a 5-yard dump out to Mark Andrews. So with that, and again, he's not being protected right now by running backs either. Usually, if you have one or two good running backs back there, you can get away with a little bit because you can do a handoff to someone who can run the ball, or you can do a play action fake and think they're running it, and you can dump it over the top. They don't have that. Lamar Jackson has now become the number one running back on the team and the quarterback because he has to. There's no other choice. So I could see this game being a blowout, just like you. I could definitely see Pittsburgh just coming to, having roll into Pittsburgh, just punch them right in the mouth and call it a day. But let's talk about one other thing here. Joe Burrow blowing out his knee, ending probably the Rookie of the Year competition between him and Justin Herbert. Now it'll probably be all Justin Herbert's, I imagine. I had picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire to win it. He's still in the running. He had a good week this week. But I think Justin Herbert's just done too much to prove that he's won, even with the bad haircut and the acne.
Yeah, I think he might have. I think he was probably the favorite. I think he kind of edged Burrow out anyway. And then, like you said, now that Burrow's out with that, I mean, just a shredded knee, MCL, ACL. They said some structural damage. I mean, so I mean, he's out at least 12 months. But yeah, I think Herbert is pretty much going to be unless he gets hurt too. He's just running away with that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the other games for this week. So let's start with the Arizona at New England. Arizona is a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to go with Arizona. I think they're going to give Seattle a run for their money in the AFC West, as well as the Rams now, apparently.
Right. Yeah. The toughest division. Yeah. I like. Are we picking 3 games?
Yeah, we'll pick 3 games. We're picking 3 games here. Yep. I didn't
All
pick
right.
that one, but that's that.
Well, then I'll
I
go ahead
think
and take
Arizona's going to win.
Cardinals. Yeah, I'm going to take Cardinals minus 2.5 because anytime I bet on them, they burn me. So why not?
All right. Let's do Carolina at Minnesota. Now, this is an interesting game because you've got Minnesota with Adam Thielen on the COVID list right now. That is not a proven positive test. He may have just had close contact with someone. So right now it's kind of they haven't really done a whole lot with that game. It's one of those kind of mystery games on FanDuel. But right now they're showing Minnesota as a 4.5-point favorite. I think Minnesota will they're at home. So I think Minnesota is going to win that game pretty easily against Carolina.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I think Carolina's dealing with. I don't know if Teddy B is going to be back. I saw they said I think him and CMC practice again, but I don't know if they're going to be back to 100%. So it might be PJ Walker again. But I think the Vikings have a little too much firepower for him.
Okay. Let's go with Cleveland at Jacksonville. Cleveland is a 6.5-point favorite. I believe Myles Garrett is out this game again. I don't believe he's going to be playing this week. I know Kareem Hunt's always popping up on the injury list with something wrong, but I think he's going to be okay. Did not have a good week last week as far as rushes going, but he did get to the end zone on a 20-yard pass or a 20-yard rush, so he at least made it to the pay dirt there. But with him and Nick Chubb in the backfield, they're going to try to run it down the Jacksonville Jaguars' throat. I like Cleveland to win this one, just straight out. I think Cleveland's going to win this one pretty easy.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I think it's still the Jake Luton show, Luton, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Down there. I think Cleveland just has firepower. Even if Hunt doesn't, I mean, you still got Chubb, who's a monster. So I don't think Jacksonville is going to give him much of a problem at all.
Okay. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Atlanta Falcons. The Raiders are given 3 points here. I think the Raiders are going to win that game. I think they're going to be on a mission to prove people wrong and really jack the score up high.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a bit of a slap in the face after their game, where they, I mean, just destroyed Tom Brady and them. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm taking the Raiders -3. The Falcons are the Falcons. So I don't have any problem with that. I like the Raiders defense, and Derek Carr seems to be a man on a mission.
Okay. All right. We have the Los Angeles Chargers of the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is favored by 5.5 in this game. I'm going Buffalo on this for sure. I think they're going to win pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking of making that my third pick as I'm kind of scrolling through here. I mean, we really like Josh Allen on the podcast. I mean, Chargers, they have a good team. They just can't seem. Basically, it's Philip Rivers 2.0. They just can't seem to get out of their own way. So I'm not gonna pick this as my pick, but I do think the Bills win.
Okay. We've got Miami at the Jets. Miami's only a 6.5-point favorite, which kind of surprises me, but I think they're going to handle the Jets pretty easily. So I'm going Miami on that one.
Yeah, same thing. I don't. The Jets. I mean, the Chargers screwed me last week. I mean, they only won by 8, I think it was. Allowed a late field goal. I mean, so the Jets are fighting, but yeah, I think the Dolphins win easily.
Okay. Next game up is the New York Giants at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Giants are a 5.5-point favorite. That is my first pick. I'm going to take the Giants at -5.5. Cincinnati doesn't have Joe Burrow anymore, so I don't even know who's going to be back there throwing for them to start the game. I think Ryan Finley is supposed to be the starter, so I could see the Giants winning pretty big in this game.
Yeah, I think as soon as Burrow was on the cart, um, it's just tank season. See how high he can get up and hopefully get him a left tackle or something like that. Help protect him. Can come back healthy. I think the Giants should win easily. Like I said, it is Ryan Finley, so I mean he didn't do anything last year when he played. So
Okay. All right, we've got the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts are playing a heck of a year right now. They're looking pretty good in the AFC South. They're at -3.5. I think Indy's going to have an easy win here.
yeah, I mean Colts have the number 1 defense. So I mean I'm curious to see what they do against Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has had some issues against really good defenses. They don't really have anybody else. I mean I like AJ Brown, but I think Colts win easily.
Okay. We've got the New Orleans Saints at the Denver Broncos. New Orleans is a 5.5-point favorite. I'm picking Denver plus 5.5 in this game. I think it's going to be a little bit of a different game for them when they have to travel up to Colorado and play at Mile High Stadium. We'll see what Taysom Hill can do in the thin air. But I like Denver plus 5.5 in this game. That's my second pick.
Yeah, I was also looking at that. Like I said, I think it'd be a good test. Denver has a pretty good defense. Gets slept on a little bit. So I'm curious to see what Taysom Hill can do against them. But I agree. I think Denver is going to win that one.
Okay. We have the 49ers at the Rams. Rams are 7-point favorites. After what they did to Tampa Bay, I'm picking the Rams all day. They may win the NFC West.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, is Jimmy G back? I mean, not that it matters.
I don't think
I
so.
think it's Rams easy.
All right, and then we've got Kansas City at Tampa Bay, the Patrick Mahomes revenge game. We've got Kansas City at -3.5. I'm actually going to take Tampa Bay plus 3.5 in this game. I think Tom Brady's going to be pissed off and want to take it out on someone, and Patrick Mahomes is the team, and the Kansas City Chiefs, the team's going to do it too.
Yeah, that one. I mean, like I said, the Bucks just burned me at -3.5. I like Kansas City in that one. I think Kansas City has a good defense as well. And yeah, Brady might be mad, but I'm not sure. I mean, if Goff and Carr can carve up the Buccaneers, um, I think it's going to be crazy to see what Patrick Mahomes can do against them. Almost call him Pat. Don't want to do that.
All right, and we've got Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay is 8.5-point favorite right now. I can't bet with the Bears anymore because I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I don't know what offense is going to show up. More than likely, no offense is going to show up. So on that one, I mean, this is my third pick was Tampa Bay, but if I were to pick a fourth for a 3A, it'd be Green Bay -8.5 all day. I'd take him at -13 at this point.
Yeah, going to hammer that alternate spread.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to see. I mean, if it's Mitch, then I mean I might have to take that 8.5 because he's going to be balling. Yeah, I think Green Bay. You know what? No, I'm going to say I'm on the Kool-Aid. I
Oh,
like the Bears 8.5. I think they'll lose, but I don't think it'll be more than 8.5.
you think they'll
I think
cover?
that defense is too good, and Rodgers usually, yeah, I think they cover. Rodgers usually kills them, but he doesn't usually blow them out.
Okay. Well, plus Eddie Jackson's on the COVID list. I don't know if he's coming off by Sunday night. So take that into account. All right. And our Thursday gobble sleeper, I'm going to roll with CeeDee Lamb, 50 yards and 1 touchdown.
All right. Well, we missed the Monday night game.
Oh, who's the Monday
That
night
was my
game?
third
Sorry.
pick. Seattle
Who's Monday?
-5 versus Seattle -5 versus Philly.
Okay. I would take Seattle in that game. Yeah, easy.
All right, and then
I take it you're taking
what
Seattle at -5.5.
yeah, I'm taking that's my third pick. I mean, because same with Arizona, I just like to blow all my picks early. What was your gobbler sleeper of the day?
CeeDee Lamb, 50 yards and 1 touchdown.
I'm going to go Gus Bus. Womp, 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 womp. I don't know what we want to do. That's a train. I'm going to have him 50 rushing yards, which should be should be a big feat against that Steelers defense.
Yeah, it should be. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. Some just one quick family tradition that you guys do. I know in my family with my wife and her family, tomorrow we have our second bedroom has an entire spread of pieces of bread on the blanket right now. We're going to make some dressing and listen to music and drink wine. Yeah, I know it's weird. Believe me. When I first saw it, I had no idea what we were doing, but it comes out really good. We make 2. We make one for us and one for Aubrey since she's a vegetarian. But what's something you guys do or are going to do on this week?
Well, I mean, so Thanksgiving isn't super big in my family. That's usually the holidays that everybody goes to the in-laws because Christmas is usually a gathering of, I don't know about this year, but usually 50 to 60 people. Everybody comes home for that one. So this Thanksgiving, we're with COVID and everything going on, we're just going to stay home. So I mean, we don't really have too many Thanksgiving traditions. It's pretty much just uh, everyone's sitting around the TV as much as possible to see what's going on with whatever game before you fall asleep in the late afternoon game.
Yeah, with the turkey coma, the tryptophan.
Right.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else going on, oh, you know what? I want to say one more thing real quick. I want to give a shout out to our buddy Mike Smith. He finally got his hot sauce company off the ground, Live Fire. Check him out on Facebook. We're gonna give him a little free pub here, and I hope we're gonna tag him in it too. That way he knows to go say hi to us. But check out his hot sauces. They've got some new T-shirts and sweatshirts you can buy. He's local. He's from Aurora, so shop local in Illinois. Keep us the local businesses going. But check it out. Try some of his hot sauce. We may be doing a hot ones here sometime soon. Eating some hot wings on the show. We'll see what happens. But if there's nothing else going on, that's all I got. It's kind of a quick and easy show this week because of everything going on. But everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there. Like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook at BJ's Fantasy Corner. Find us on Twitter at BJ's Fantasy Corner. Drop us a tweet, say hi, whatever. But that's it. We'll see you next time on the corner, and have a good night.